Hi guys, I bring you warm greetings wherever you're watching me from. This is Howie's Musings. Thank you for being here. If this is your first time, I hope I do not disappoint you. Please find and follow me on my social media handles and subscribe to my YouTube channel. You might also want to check out episode 1 to 5 so you can catch up. For those of you returning, thank you so much. You're very much appreciated. Today, I'd like to share my thoughts on the need to reevaluate our understanding of miracles. I understand this is a sensitive topic, but for people who are open-minded, I believe we'll do just fine. In episode 1, I introduced myself as an upholder of humanistic values, meaning that I believe in a worldview that promotes universal values. Doing this means I make a deliberate effort to view issues rationally. This is what I believe everyone should strive to achieve, regardless of what faith they subscribe to or if they do not even subscribe to any faith at all. So if one wants a rational explanation, then the following questions should be asked when discussing miracles. 1. What is a miracle? 2. What does it take to prove that a miracle has taken place? Wikipedia says a miracle is a supernatural event that seems inexplicable by natural or scientific laws. In various religions, a phenomenon that is characterized as miraculous is often attributed to the actions of a supernatural being, a deity, a magician, a miracle worker, a saint, or a spiritual leader. According to philosophy of religion, however, exactly what constitutes a miracle is a matter for careful consideration, given the importance of the reports of such events should they be correct and truthful. Some consider any unusual event as a miracle, or at least an unusual event with a positive outcome, like winning a lottery, for example. So to use an event in order to prove the validity of miracles, we should satisfy 2 conditions. First, the event must negate the laws of nature, and there must be clear and empirical evidence to convince the curious minds that the event took place as exactly reported, because many times these miracle stories are either distorted or exaggerated. Let us take falling, for example. It is highly unusual for someone to die for simply falling from less than a 4-foot high chair or table. It is highly unusual also for someone to survive after falling off from 1,000 feet height. Both have happened in reality. We see people fall off from a chair and hit their heads and die, even though sometimes we would accuse the old woman next door. And we have also seen people falling from planes and survive. Now, we attribute any survival from deadly accidents to miracles, but not the death of those who couldn't survive mild accidents, like falling off from a toilet seat. So if we call an event a miracle because it is so unusual and therefore unexpected, why can't we assign miracles to the death of those who couldn't survive minor accidents, like falling off from a chair? Very often we hear people say things like, oh, out of everybody in the vehicle, he's the only one that survived miraculously. It is not logical to say surviving a car crash is miraculous. This is an event that happens often, and many have explanations without suspending the laws of nature. For example, if the person that survives a deadly car accident was using a seatbelt, or maybe the angle of the car he was seated received less impact from the accident, that would explain how and why the person survived the accident. So such survivals do not negate the laws of nature, and as such cannot be called miracles. Having no empirical explanation also for some strange events is not evidence for miracles, and this shouldn't stop humans from digging deeper for answers. One humility with science, however, is that it does not claim to have all the answers, but it acknowledges cause and effect without necessarily attributing it to spirituality. We are now talking about artificial womb technology. This would have sounded impossible years ago, and so its occurrence could have been labeled a miracle. Now, just because science might not be able to provide answers to some mysterious events now, does not mean that there is no hope for an explanation in future. Medical cases should also not be categorized as miracles because there are too many alternative explanations that do not contradict our biology. Simply because a medical diagnosis or prognosis couldn't trace an ailment is not sufficient evidence to claim that it has miraculous undertones. Many times people give testimonies about miracle healing, either because there was an error in the initial prognosis or they were being economical with the truth. They could feel better at a moment because of placebo effect, which is a mere psychological feeling of relief that is always temporary, by the way. Many patients who are influenced by this effect of placebo mostly announce their recovery to the gathering of miracle hunters, but they later relapse and secretly continue to receive treatment. Since their faith is at stake, they feel embarrassed to disclose their worsening health condition. There are many instances where miracle healers would blame their patients for lack of faith whenever their claims fail. How could one without faith travel hundreds, if not thousands of kilometers to visit miracle centers in the first place? But you see, going by the gullible nature of many Nigerians, it is easier to sell pre-staged dramatic displays as miracles. Now, something else worthy of note is that the way and manner you interpret or understand miracles also reflects your understanding of God and the way He operates. If, for example, a house burns down from which a 2-month-old baby dies, but your holy book does not burn, I think this is morally embarrassing for one to call that a miracle, because we have seen such situations in the past. So we need to cultivate the habit of asking the right questions and verifying stories. Oftentimes, we only succeed in selling falsehood to people who might end up being depressed or even worse because they expect a miracle that will never happen. Now, believe in God, but always ask the right questions. And this should not mean your faith is weak. But if it does, then there are question marks about the fundamentals of your beliefs. The future belongs to people who have impeccable critical reasoning skills. As always, I hope I have been able to twitch something in our minds today. Okay, so yesterday I made a post asking people to tell me if they have ever had to go out of their way to help strangers. I turned off comments after getting the first 2 responses. Both of them are winners of our 5K giveaway this month. Congratulations to Olufunke and Joseph. Thank you for your kindness, and I hope you two will always be met at your point of need. That's it on episode 6 of Howie's Musings. Thank you for being here. Remember to share and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't. Until I come your way again next month, remember to always ask the right questions. Bye for now.